just want to say this right now. If you guys have not started reading Berserk, read Berserk. What's up, you guys? Chase the Dark Sage here, and we are back with another manga review of Berserk, the Deluxe Edition, Volume 2. Now, if you guys have not seen my Berserk Volume 1 Deluxe Edition review, go ahead and check that video out. Hopefully, I'll leave a link in the description down below. But this Berserk, this manga series right here, oh my gosh. I'm gonna just give you a fair warning right now. I'm probably gonna overhype this series in this review because I have a lot of recency biases. I literally just got done reading it just a few hours ago, I believe. And I had to let my brain really fester all my thoughts and all my ideas of what I read. And honestly, I loved every single bit. I love Berserk so far. Berserk right now, top tier. Top tier right now. The storytelling, the manga paneling, the art, oh my gosh. The character development, oh my gosh, the way that the story is told and the way that the art itself tells the story without any dialogue happening at times, oh my god, Berserk is just so good. But before we get into a video, before I get into my thoughts and my review of Berserk Volume 2, the Deluxe Edition, I gotta say shout out to my Patreon pledgers for going ahead and financially supporting the channel. I gotta say I highly appreciate what you guys are doing for me over there on Patreon, holding me down financially. And if you want your name on this beautiful wall with all these other beautiful names, go ahead and check the Patreon link in the description down below. You guys know you deserve the biggest Dark Sage hug that I can give you. Secondly, I gotta give a shout out to Broke Boy Gang, aka Notification Squad, because they probably gonna go broke after I give them this review and they wanna go buy some Berserk because these volumes ain't really cheap. They're about $30 to $50 unless you could really catch it on a good deal. But I gotta say shout out to Broke Boy Gang because they already probably liked the video while the ad was playing. They probably already commented Broke Boy Gang in the comment section down below, and they probably sharing this video out or thinking to themselves, let me go pick out Berserk, which is a good idea. It's definitely not a bad idea if you're of age. I gotta say that if you're of age. But if you're not a part of Broke Boy Gang yet and you want to be, go ahead, fix that for me right now. It's completely free for you to do. All you gotta do is subscribe, hit the post notification bell, and I need everybody to go ahead, like the video, and share the content as well. Free support on your end helps me out dearly a lot on my end. And lastly, if you guys want to contact me outside of YouTube, go ahead, hit me up on all my other social media links, all in the description down below. And don't forget to follow me on TikTok. I know a lot of you guys actually find me on TikTok. And y'all are surprised I have a TikTok, but right here where it says all my links in the description, it has all these little images. And at the end of my videos, I do have a little credit thing that shows that I have a TikTok. So if you want to check me out on TikTok, all my links will be in the description down below. So, let's get into it. I clap my hands how Guts be clapping everybody's cheeks when he's on the battlefield. I mean, come on. Now, if you guys don't remember my review from part 1, if you guys don't remember my review from the Deluxe Edition Part 1, I'm going to briefly talk about the actual edition, the actual Deluxe Edition, because I did decide to buy the Deluxe Edition rather than the singles. While the singles might be a lot easier to attain and, you know, less space effective, I think that me honestly getting the Deluxe Editions for my shelf, I just think that it honestly looks magnificent. And honestly, when I'm reading the Deluxe Edition, it feels like I'm reading a movie coming out of the panels because, oh my gosh, the quality of the pages, top notch. The leather hardback, top notch. And the way that it has everything sectioned off where it's like, oh, this is volume 1, this is volume 2, this is volume 3, here's the page numbers. It breaks down everything at the beginning, and once you get to each volume, it actually breaks down which chapter is which I definitely like that. That way it gave me a good little pacing idea of where I was or where I'm at actually in the volumes of the single releases. But without that being said, you guys know I physically collect a lot of manga, as you can see right here, or if you've been following the channel for a while now. But to actually get into the story of what happened in Berserk Volume 2. If you have not already seen the Part 1, if you have not read the Deluxe Edition of Volume 1 of Berserk, I gotta say, go ahead, leave right now, because I'm gonna give a bit of minor spoilers. Obviously, if I'm gonna say some stuff about this and not spoil too much about this Deluxe Edition, you're gonna probably kind of know some things from the first Deluxe Edition, even though there wasn't a lot of story happening in the first part compared to this part itself right now. But in the first part of the review, like I said, I was really curious about the character of Griffith, because obviously, as you can see from Part 1, Deluxe Edition of Part 1, you see that this character of Griffith and Guts themselves have some type of relationship where they obviously knew each other in the past. And I was really curious as to how they knew each other. Well, this actual Volume 2 of the Deluxe Edition actually goes over that, and my God, does it really go over that? Now, in the Part 1 of the Deluxe Edition, I'm going to say the Deluxe Edition because that's what I read and that's how I read it. But in Volume 3, if you guys want me to say it in simpler terms, at the end of Volume 3, you get into the first chapter of the Golden Age arc, which is the arc where we actually see Guts' whole backstory, or his backstory to where he became the warrior that he kind of is today. Now, as I'm currently reading, I'm not fully caught up to present Guts, but right now, oh my gosh, I'm like at older teen Guts right now, and that backstory was amazing. Obviously, the first thing that happens at the beginning of this deluxe edition, I gotta say, something sad does really happen, and honestly, it's very horrifying, especially the imagery. You obviously don't get to see everything because I don't think any manga really wants to draw what actually was perceived in this moment. But at the beginning of this volume, Guts is actually sexually abused. And that was a route that really turned quickly, especially the way that they took this route in the actual manga itself. Now, I haven't seen the anime or anything, so I haven't seen how this was animated or anything like that, and I don't want to see how it was animated either. It was kind of nasty. It was a grown man. I know this is like in medieval times where they didn't really have the laws like we do now, but this was so nasty because the surrogate father, or I don't want to say surrogate father, but I guess I could say the adoptive father of Guts, who is Gambino, which I only remember it because the child was Gambino. But the adoptive father of Gambino actually sold his adoptive son to this other warrior, this other soldier, to have these things done to him. And I thought to myself, this is a really messed up world. But at the end of the deluxe edition, part 1, you actually get to see that Guts was born from a dead woman's corpse. Like, his mother was already dead before he was born, which was insane to even think about. And I guess in this area that they was in, like, he was born to be cursed. Like anything around him or surrounding him is going to be cursed, or he's just going to have bad luck for the rest of his life. And this woman named Sis, who actually was with Gambino, actually wanted to adopt Guts because she obviously was having miscarriages, so she wasn't able to have a baby herself. In this time, Sis adopted Guts, but she ended up dying because, as we all know from part 1 at the end, Guts is technically cursed, or the people around him are cursed, so he's always going to have all these misfortunate things happen to him in life. And his adoptive mom actually died right in front of him, and Gambino, who was Sis's lover, I'm assuming, didn't really like Guts because he kind of resented Guts for causing Sis's death. So later on within the story, like I said, I'm not gonna get too much into spoilers. We actually see Guts in this backstory actually grow up, and he actually meets the character of Griffith, who we met at the end of the part 1 deluxe edition. And the camaraderie and the meeting and just all the events that Guts and Griffith actually go through the story, I gotta say I actually enjoy it, especially with side characters like Casca, who is really the only side character that I can remember at the time, because she honestly gets a backstory towards the later end of the second deluxe edition. But like I was saying, at the beginning of the part 2 deluxe edition, we actually see Guts, actually his whole backstory, like, going up. Obviously, I'm still in the backstory. I'm not at the end of the actual Golden Age arc. I'm still reading it. I still need to read part 3 of the deluxe edition because, honestly, I gotta make these videos. I gotta remember to make these videos, because if I read that deluxe edition 3, I'm gonna mesh everything up that I read from that with the part 2 deluxe edition. And I'm not trying to give you too much spoilers in these reviews, but I do want to say I highly recommend getting into the story, because the way that Guts' character actually develops within his backstory, I gotta say I really enjoy it. And they actually go over most of his backstory in a good way. Like, they do like 2-3 year time skips, like, oh, he's 3 at this moment, he's 6 at this moment, 9 at this moment, 15 or whatever at this moment. I don't remember the exact calculations of how many years he is actually in the manga, but you see that Guts is one of those people that has lived his whole life on the battlefield. He really doesn't have a care for a lot of people's lives, especially people he doesn't know. But when it comes to the people close to him or around him, he will put himself in harm's danger in order to save them. And it's really weird because from someone from Guts' perspective, you really don't see him form relationships, or he really isn't a trusting person. And he does definitely have PTSD from those situations that happened when he was really young, when he was with Gambino's crew. Being betrayed, being wronged, and just being sold off, quote unquote. It just kind of leaves a bad taste in Guts' mouth, so he tends to not really want to actually befriend anyone or actually form relationships with others, which is actually a great quality within it, because it's really realistic compared to what he's actually been through in the manga itself. And then, like I was saying, we do have characters like Griffith and Casca, who Casca isn't best girl yet, but I can see that she's on the track of being best girl. And it's funny because Griffith is like this beautiful man. Like, he's just a beautiful man. Like, he's just woven as this really smart person, this really detailed person, while he has the smarts and he has the skill to actually back up his smarts. He is a leader who somehow actually gets Guts into his whole army thing happening. But guys, that's gonna have to be it for the actual plot detailing. Like I was saying, I really do love the character development with characters like Guts, especially with his backstory. I think the backstory is honestly phenomenal. I think it's great. And overall, I think where Berserk is going right now, I am, like I said, really falling in love with it. Like I said in the part 1 deluxe edition, When you actually read this manga, first of all, it's kind of a hard position to actually get into reading it because you don't want to do like this and your back can start hurting, or you don't want to do like this because your back is going to start hurting too. But I gotta say that when I was reading this, it was like I was flipping through pages of the movie, and later on within the actual volume itself, like between volumes actual 6 and 5, they actually start coming from longer chapters to shorter chapters, like 20 to 30 page chapters, which I actually do like for pacing purposes. But I kind of wish that I was able to read this online somewhere legally, of course. I really wish I was able to read this online somewhere legally on my phone somewhere, because sometimes I don't want to pull out the big deluxe edition. While the deluxe edition does have great page quality and it's just nice to hold in hand, I always don't want to pull it out of my manga shelf and just read it. But I have no problems with it. First world problems, obviously. But guys, I highly recommend you read Berserk if you have not already, and obviously if you're of age, because Berserk definitely has some more mature themes. There are some heinous things that happen in there, and there's some really, you know, grotesque things that happen in Berserk. But like I said, I highly recommend it. I am really in love with it. Right after this video, I'm probably going to read volume 3 if I can, or if I don't have to edit this bad boy. But guys, that's about it for the review. Thank you guys for watching. If you are new to the channel and you have not already, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, post notification bell. Like I said, thank you guys for watching. Dark Sage out. Peace.